GetRx and XEBEX. And Ashton, I'd love to hear actually your thoughts on XEBEX, because they seem like they've been, and especially like what you were saying as far as like a lot of people still are kind of just like the mainstream is more into like cardio still, and those are what the biggest sellers actually are, not like really what we talk about. Ashton, what about XEBEX? Because they're releasing some cool stuff.
So GetRx in general, or XEBEX with the cardio?
Specifically, the cardio is XEBEX.
Yeah, I mean, so I like them as a company. I think they're really so everything we've sold from XEBEX or GetRx has been really nothing short of phenomenal. And the versioning that you mentioned, I think in one of the previous podcasts, is really what sets them apart. So like version 4 of their benches and version 8 of whatever it is, like the quality differences, and they're still an import company from Taiwan, and I love what they're doing on the cardio side. Do I want a treadmill with a built-in sled feature? Maybe not, but at least they're trying it out to see if it works. Do I think that they have better products with more features than Concept 2 or other treadmills on the market that have like a similar design style? Oh, 100%. You're getting way better value from them than you are from pretty much anybody else, and the pricing is unbeatable. The only things that I have issues with are if you're just doing side-by-side comparisons with, say, their air bike to, say, the assault bike, or their rower to the Concept 2 rower. Sometimes if you're not looking closely at what the feature set is, you'll think, oh, I'll just go with Concept 2 or go with Assault, when you're missing out on a bunch of different stuff, especially like those smart screens that they're starting to implement with pretty much all of their products that really set them apart. It's just, like you said, there's a lack of actual innovation and improvement in quality with a lot of other manufacturers. XEBEX, for whatever reason, just continues to ram down the upgrade train with all of their cardio stuff, and they just don't stop. It's awesome. I will say, from a distributor standpoint, it annoys me because their margins aren't that great, but at the same time, that also translates into really good deals for the consumer. I don't know. I can't fault them for any of that. What was some of the other stuff? I'm just trying to remember. I don't have my screen in front of me. They did the treadmill with the sled function. What else did they come out with recently?
Well, they have 2 different treadmills like that.
Yep.
And then like the big thing is like they're on like version 4.0 of their rower.
Yeah.
Whereas like when was the last time Concept 2's updated the rower? So I'm not saying like XEBEX rower is better than Concept 2 rower, but they're still focusing on making it better. Whereas I don't know if Concept 2 really is, because everyone's like, oh, this is the standard. We're never going to change it.
I'm gonna rant about this for just a hot minute. So there's a couple of different things. So Concept 2 has taken if CrossFit and Rogue did not exist, Concept 2 would not exist. I'll just be straight up. There are so many products, including body solid products, that are far superior to what Concept 2 is offering and more durable. I have a rower that sits in the warehouse right now. It's 20 pounds heavier, has a fixed arm, like 10 times the rower has come back for service like once in a lifetime. It's just a far better product. Plus, they don't screw you on the labor costs. Like a lot of these other companies, they'll actually cover the labor to come out and like repair this equipment. Concept 2 is like, we'll send you the parts, you figure it out. Like they just don't, and they're direct to consumer. I don't. They just haven't spent the time to. They've gotten really lazy and lackadaisical with their business model and their marketing. So, like they know they've got a stranglehold on that on rowers, and then Assault, I'm sure, as thinks they have a stranglehold on bikes, and all these companies. Meanwhile, they keep coming out with all these other versions that continue to improve on the product. If you can show. The only way that they get an edge over the Concept 2 guys or the Assault of the world is if they really spend some time getting in with major competitions, because they had that whole controversy with XEBEX versus Concept 2 as far as the rowing mileage and the yardage is concerned. So if they can get over that hump and say, hey, look, we have, as far as the counting is concerned, we're in our own echelon, we're on our own category, and it is competition grade. Like you can use our rower, you can use another rower, but we have the exact same standards across the board. If you can get over kind of that hump and then start getting them into major competitive sports, they will take off. Right now, like you said, Jake, they've been flying so far under the radar, improving their product like crazy, but the marketing is enormously lacking. But for anybody who hasn't checked out these products and listening to this podcast, XEBEX and GetRx in general is wildly underrated. I quote them out all the time for commercial clients, police departments, fire stations, all that stuff. And the wow looks I get on design layouts and all that stuff, it's phenomenal. So I can't say enough good things about them as a company, and their cardio just they need like a dedicated person to get them into competition.
I think that's a good point about the competition, because people don't think about the fact that there are indoor rowing competitions.
Yep.
You have sponsored athletes and everything for those. And so most of them use Concept 2. So that means if I break your record on a Concept 2, I broke it.
Yep.
But if I break it on another kind of rower, God forbid a water rower, then you don't even know. And I don't have a problem with water rowers. I'm just saying that the stroke is different. And sometimes they don't take into account like the weight of the person. And so the body weight of the person. And that is like a big, I was doing a review for a rowing app that had like a competitive aspect. And so I go into their Discord, and they're serious about, hey, does it account for weight? If a lighter person is rowing, are they having to work as hard as I am? And so I think that is the biggest hump. If they can make it kind of like what barbells do, like you have like you have specifications for this bar to be, say, IPF spec or whatever, even if it's a different brand of barbell, that the competition conditions are similar. And so one person breaking a record is valid. You know what I mean? Breaking somebody else's record is valid. And I think that's, I agree. I think that's like their biggest hurdle if they really want to get popular, because most of the time athletes drive, or influencers, whatever, drive popularity of products. So if I'm your favorite athlete and I'm not going to push this particular rower, then the average person is just going to immediately just go with what is the safe option. Because think about it, like most people who row a lot probably were rowing in college or rowing in high school or something like that, probably college. And so people who like row outdoors competitively, well, in the wintertime or whenever it's off season, they do a lot of rowing on Concept 2s. And so coaches have to be able to track your progress, right? So again, for GetRx and XEBEX to be able to break into that and start to kind of break through their glass ceiling, they got to make sure that what they have matches up from a performance standpoint. Not necessarily like bells and whistles, but like, hey, can I compare this apples to apples, or else I'm not going to spend money on your product.
Cool. All right. Good info, guys.
I just laugh at me and Keith. Keith, did you do what I did? Like, cardio.
I was thinking.
I don't think I've used a rower in 10 years.